Hello and welcome to another one-on-one interview with the Atlantic Council of Canada. My guest today is the Consul General of Greece, Dimitris Azemopoulos. Mr. Azemopoulos holds a joint law political science degree from the University of Athens and various degrees from LSE, Sorbonne, Athens, and the National School of Public Administration in Greece. He has worked for a range of institutions in various high-level capacities, including the European Union. Thank you for being my guest today.
Thank you, Mr. Corbeil.
Greece has just recently celebrated the 60th anniversary of its inclusion in NATO. Could you highlight the role that your country has played in the alliance?
I firmly believe that Greece has always been a principal factor of peace and stability in the area and always contributed consistently and in the most positive way actively to the alliance, to NATO, both in missions abroad and to the development of NATO as an organization with international power. We always defend the principles and the values that NATO relies on, and I would like to highlight that although we had some concerns in the past, we always proved to be there when NATO asked for our help. The latest example is the one in Libya, but to this I will come, I guess, later during our talk. I would like to say that we always believe that national security is closely connected, entirely connected to developments in international security. And this is a key observation for Greece as well and for everybody, especially after the new developments that the world now faces in all continents, especially in Europe, but in other places in the world as well. I would like to say that since the mid-70s, Greece has faced a problem with one of our neighbors, that is Turkey. They invaded Cyprus, there was a resounding silence from NATO, and this disappointed the Greeks, our population, because we saw that although both countries participate in this alliance, which is a transatlantic one, our bilateral problems have not been resolved. We have our ups and downs in our relationship. We believe that good neighborly relations are a cornerstone for the development of a climate of peace and stability in the area, in our area in particular. Still, from the other side, we see some, some variations of their will to reach a solution to our problems. We believe that full addition to the basic rules and norms of international law is a key to proceed, to pave for a better future. Now, how we view the alliance of today. The alliance of today, today we celebrate, as you very well said, the 60th anniversary of our accession to NATO. The alliance today is one of the key factors in the world that should preserve peace. But this will happen in close cooperation with other major organizations, such as the Organization for Security and Cooperation in Europe, the Council of Europe, European Union, and of course the United Nations, but all other organizations. Now Greece participates in all these international fora. We believe, therefore, that the synergy should be developed among all these key players of the international arena. Synergies that will pave the way in order to face the problems of our society, international society, in a constructive and effective way. Now, how we see the alliance, how Greece sees the alliance, we believe that there are three, I would say, key issues that should be always focused when we talk about NATO in the 21st century. I believe that unity, first of all, should prevail among its members, the members of the alliance. Unity, solidarity, dialogue, and of course, there should be this kind of legalization in whatever we undertake to do, because there should be adherence to the norms of the United Nations, to the principles of the United Nations, and of course, this should be done in consistency with what the Security Council decides. We should be there, the European Union should be there, NATO should be there together with the United Nations to undertake operations that will establish or that will further peace in places of the world that need our presence.
With all the turbulent ongoing events in the Mediterranean, a major development has largely gone unnoticed by Western press. The discovery of a large deposit of natural gas between Israel, Lebanon, and the island of Cyprus has provided a new dimension to energy security in the region. How do you see this discovery affecting relations between the involved countries?
Well, I would say that stability in the Mediterranean is of major importance. I think that, of course, there have been positive developments in the discovery of natural resources in the Mediterranean, which paved the way for more constructive cooperation among the players that you mentioned before, the Republic of Cyprus, Lebanon, and Israel. Now, to this I would add that there was one country, again Turkey, that we had a threat from Ankara towards Nicosia, that if they exercise their sovereign rights, they would that would create some problems between the two countries. The word is threatened. They threatened the Republic of Cyprus. The Turks have done the same with us, the Greeks, and this is something that creates a general feeling of tension in the Mediterranean. This should not prevail. I think, especially in times of crisis like the times that we are going through now, the countries should do their best to find the issues that unite us and or unite them. And I think that from our side, we have all the goodwill to do our best to overcome the existing, problems that our neighbors create in good faith, but also in a spirit of dialogue. I believe that Greece has a comprehensive strategy, and of course, security for us matters the most. We are not a big country, we are a small country, but we are a very proud country. And when we see that our sovereignty over our natural resources is threatened, over that there is a casus belli pending from another country if we exercise our sovereign rights, this is not conducive to a climate of stability, peace, and cooperation in the area. I believe that, as I told you before, although we are provoked, irritated by our neighbor, we are ready always, in good faith, to find the way to improve the existing climate, but always on the basis of respect of the rule of law, international law, and the international standards, the UN standards, that should always prevail in the relations of all countries.
There has been some controversy surrounding Greece and the ascension of the Western Balkan States into NATO. What do you believe are the impediments to full integration of the Balkans?
Impediments? Well, again, the area, who we are. We have been an active member of all major organizations that played a key role in the development of peace and stability in Europe for the last years. Now, Greece has played a key role in bringing the Balkans into the major European structures and family. And Romania is there, Bulgaria is there. We have the agenda, the Thessaloniki agenda, which is the agenda for the inclusion of the Balkans in the European family. Now, the country that you refer to is the former Yugoslav Republic of Macedonia. And honestly, we want this country to become part of the European family and of the NATO structures, And they know it very well. They know it very well. We have invested in this country, but there's one pending issue with the name. And we have done the extra mile, and we have proposed to them a solution which will be a balanced solution, which will respect our history, which is known to everybody, our tradition, our culture. I believe that the answer we receive from their side is always an answer which is not deemed to be a satisfactory answer. Time and time again, we told them that we want them to become members of the alliance, a member of the alliance. The thing is that they kept on provoking Greece. The December Ministerial Council in NATO decided that unless a solution is found, this country will not become a member state of the alliance. And we are there, we wait for them. The talks should continue under the UN auspices with Nimitz as a mediator, the UN mediator, and I think sooner or later they will understand. Yesterday also there was a statement from the Secretary General of the Socialist Party of Fatima, who said publicly that provocations from this country should stop, should cease, and that there should be good faith prevailing also from their side in order that a mutually acceptable solution should be found between the two states. The only thorn in our relations is the name issue. But the name issue has such a big importance for our side, and I guess in the last meeting we had also with the ambassador of FYROM and also the Bosnian deputy minister, thanks to the initiative of the Atlantic Council of Canada, who had the opportunity to discuss in public about our positions. I think we are close to a solution, but what is important for the NATO member states to understand is that solidarity and unanimity in decision making is what makes the organization a stronger one. We have been there for 60 years. We have proved that we want the alliance to be strong, although we had some issues with a neighbor of ours, Turkey. Now it's time to resolve our issues with FYROM and to proceed so that the Western Balkans should be fully integrated into the Euro-Atlantic structures.
Given your position as Consul General, could you comment on bilateral relations and joint involvement in NATO between Canada and Greece?
We have a very good cooperation with Canada, although you know that this question should be addressed to our ambassador in Ottawa. But I would like to remind you that last spring 2011, we had the Prime Minister of Canada, Harper, visiting officially Greece. Actually, this was very well taken by the Greek population and by our authorities, by our government, because he visited Greece in a difficult time for us. And we never forget the allies that shoulder us, that support us in times of trouble. We in Canada, we have a very strong and thriving community of hundreds of thousands of Greeks who have been here for more than 100 years. They have excelled in everything they did. And this is not an exaggeration, but you know it very well. We are everywhere, and I think we are very well integrated in this society, which is a UN model society. I have to praise Canada for what it is. I have to praise the tolerance and the openness of this society, which is not a superficial openness or tolerance. It's a substantial one. So Greeks have always been here, and we have hundreds of thousands of Greeks, as I said before. The thing is that with NATO and with other international organizations, in NATO and in the other organizations, we cooperate perfectly with Canada. We support the candidatures and the candidacies of Canada. Also, we cooperate in missions abroad, in peacekeeping operations, in humanitarian operations. I think we're always there. And of course, there is much to be done, more to be done. But I think we are in a very good level, and this level should be even, I believe and I hope that it can be even improved much more in the future.
Thank you for being my guest today.
Thank you very much.
And thank you for watching. Check back at www.atlantic-council.ca for more interviews, articles, and upcoming events. Thank you.